What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris Mann. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest that's on with me today, as he is a UTEP graduate. He is somebody who has worked in various sports organizations: New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, the Atlanta Hawks, and now for BSE Global, associating with the Brooklyn Nets. Her name is Aeisha McDavid, and we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into sports, but we're also going to ask her some get to know you questions. So, Aeisha, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you, and you look absolutely lovely today. I also want to throw
Thank
that in
you.
there as well. There's no
Thank
question about
you.
that. There's no question. You're welcome. You're welcome with that. Now, my first question to you is the same as it always is with everybody that hops on this thing, and that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models, any inspirations maybe growing up? But ultimately, what is your why for getting into sports?
So, great question. I always feel like that's like a loaded question when you ask, because I do feel like it changes from every period of my
Sure.
career at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a first generation immigrant. I come from parents that both are from Trinidad and Tobago, and they are, one is works with his hands, like my dad is a mechanic and my mom is a nurse. For people that always knew what they wanted to do and had more of a traditional path, it was very difficult for me to figure out what I wanted to do. But the one thing that always was near and dear to my heart was sports. And the more that I've gotten into the space and gotten to grow, it was a selfish thing just trying to get to the top. But for me now that I am in the position, especially that I'm in today, it's really to help the next generation, especially of Black kids, specifically those that are first generation immigrants, to figure out
Absolutely.
they do not have to stick to that traditional path, of course, of being a doctor, a nurse, doing all that type of stuff, and understanding that there is a way for us to pave our own way, and understanding there are so many different facets and lanes to go in, especially when you get into this industry.
I love that. I really love that answer. And it's a great way of paying it forward, too. You know what I mean? And I love to see people in hierarchy positions because you're an inside sales manager, and that's amazing, right? And it's not only amazing that you being in a hierarchy position, but you being African American and a woman as well, which we need more women in sports. We need more women in sports and hierarchy positions, in my opinion. It just it makes sports better, it makes the brands better, and it gives different perspective as well, as far as what goes on in some of these organizations, what goes on within
Exactly.
sports. So I love that. You went to UTEP. I mentioned it,
Yep.
University of Texas El Paso. For those of you that don't know the acronym of what UTEP is, um, I want to ask you: were there any other schools that you were considering going to, or was UTEP your number one choice?
I wanted to go as far as humanly possible. I am from Mount Vernon, New York. I am from the East Coast. I told you my parents are from Trinidad.
Hmm.
My climate is warm. I am warm-bodied. I do not like
Hmm.
the snow. I don't like seasons. So
Hmm.
for me personally, I wanted to go south. I wanted to go as far as possible. I had other offers. I did have offers from George Mason, Northeastern, Villanova, places that were essentially close enough to go to college, but
Sure.
also far enough to be I am away. I wanted to be nah, you got to get on a plane, you got to drive, you got to do all this extra stuff. So,
Right.
and then also making sure that I was going to a school that gave me the best opportunity as well.
Okay, I like that. I like the switch up for sure. Now, obviously, you have now led back to Brooklyn, New York. What you're doing, so you back in the snow, no question.
Yeah, it's
But
I
you
don't want to
home.
talk about it.
It's home. It's home for you though. You know what I mean? Like you ain't that
Exactly,
far
yep.
from home, so home is where the heart is. And listen, you
Exactly.
have ventured out. It's not that you haven't ventured out. Like I said, you've been with Miami, New York. Your previous stop was in Atlanta, so I totally understand that. So
Yep.
I'm very happy to hear that. That's for sure. I want to ask you some get to know you questions.
Of course.
And pretty much some favorite questions. Okay, so that means you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these
Yeah.
favorite questions, and we'll rock out. Okay, so here we
All
go.
right, bet.
Favorite meal you like to cook?
Ooh, that I like to cook. Right now, it's been a red wine, braised short rib dish. Like when I got like my little Dutch oven, like I was like, yeah, this is gonna get put to use. So like that's
Mm.
been lately been one of my favorite meals to cook.
Okay, now I might have to make a pit stop next time I'm in the city. Now I'm just trying to tell you that's what's up. You said red wine too. So a good
Yeah.
Cabernet is always good. So I'm with you on that. Okay, all right. Now my meal is very simple. I'm a tacos type dude. So
I
anything
respect
tacos
it.
like, yeah, beef, chicken, steak, don't matter. I can definitely do that for sure. Or cook some breakfast food because I'm huge into pancakes and Belgian waffles. That's what I like to
Fair.
do. You know what I mean? Keep it simple. That's what we do. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Ooh, I feel like this is gonna be controversial for people that see this. I am a huge Kendrick stan. I really am,
Mm.
and I have been to at this rate. I have seen him 4 times. So and like all the shows have gotten better and better from there. So as you can imagine, like GNX was the last tour that I went to, and then
Hmm.
I went down to Atlanta to see it. So I would say that was like my favorite concert. Also, Cowboy Carter. I went there on my birthday. So those are my two favorite concerts as of right now.
Okay. Girl, you ain't wasting no time with the money. I'm telling you, you ain't wasting no time because them tickets up there for Cowboy Carter. Ain't no doubt about it. But I've seen so many people on my feed go to Beyonce's show, and go to Kendrick's show. Now, I went to Kendrick Lamar. Last time I saw him at the Super Bowl when I was covering the Super Bowl. So
Awesome.
had a chance to see him in New Orleans for that. But I know I missed him when he came with SZA. Because he had a tour with SZA too separately when they were doing the
Yep.
stadium tours. Um, I love me some Kendrick Lamar. I really do. Love me some Kendrick. No question about it. I cannot wait to see him again live. Maybe you
Yep.
might see him in the World Series because listen, they got the
At this rate,
Toronto,
yeah,
the
exactly.
the
Yep.
Dodgers. We may see a little something, something with him and Drake. I hope so. That'd be nice. You know what I mean? So that'd be pretty cool. I like that. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Ooh, this past year I've done a lot more traveling. Funny enough, I've gotten into like a more serious role, but I've also had a little bit more free time. And the more that I've climbed up, I'm like, y'all not about to stress me out. I would say, obviously, I go to Trinidad every year for Carnival. But
Wow.
outside of that, I would say as of recently, it would definitely have to probably be St. Lucia. That was a work trip, but I've never been to the island. It was the most beautiful thing most beautiful, most relaxing. I definitely will be back for sure.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I'm gonna say Jamaica was mine. No question about it. Going to Jamaica last year on a cruise with some family, that was amazing. The jerk chicken and the rice was amazing. The scenery was amazing. The beaches was
Yep.
amazing. I mean, just everything. So
Yep.
I'm with the heat. I was with the heat. I was with that, and the water was blue as it can be.
Yep.
So I love that. No doubt. No doubt. Okay, we rocking right now. Now we sports people. So I'm gonna ask you this sports question. It's a two-parter. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same sport.
I would definitely say, honestly, like I'm tied between like watching track and field and football. Like on TV, I feel like, especially because I have track roots, I ran track in college.
Hmm.
I always, any meet that is getting televised, I would definitely watch it. I like to be at football games in person. Like, I'm not going to argue that. I've worked in the NBA. It's going to be my 5th season, but I love me going to a football game in person.
Absolutely. No question. You get no argument from me. I'm a huge basketball person. That's probably my,
Okay.
my, my sport, number one, no question. But football, I can watch in person or on TV. I'm huge into football. Every Sunday is a red zone Sunday. Don't bother me. Don't call me. Don't text me. And if you on fire, you better stop, drop, and roll before you even put your phone on the dial to even dial my number. Don't call.
Valid.
That's just what it is. You know what I mean? So that's how it is when it comes to Sundays in my football. No
Yep.
question about that. Okay.
Yep.
Last of the favorites. Obviously, I'm very fond of New York City. I'm very fond of the five boroughs. I'm a huge foodie, I should say. What is your favorite restaurant to eat out at?
Polo bar.
Mm, okay.
That was, I know that is a very hard restaurant to get into, and I see why. The hype is real behind it. My coworker knows someone that works in Polo Bar and got me, our SVP, our director of service. We got dinner reservations. We literally just said this is a once in a lifetime thing probably, so we got to go. And the menu did not disappoint like at all.
Okay. I'm definitely going to have to check that out the next time I come there to New York. I typically come to the city at least 3 times a year, if not
Okay.
more. So when I'm in the city, I'm going to have to hit you up. We're going to have to do a little something, something. I would like that. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I got you. I got you with some
Say,
recommendations.
say less. Say less. I want to get into your day-to-day operation of being an inside sales manager. For people that's on the outside, might not know what your occupation is, what your role is. But I also want to get into the fact that, sports is nights and weekends. Sports goes all the time. Sports is year round. Tell me about your operational day to day. What do you do? How do you prepare yourself? Obviously, with the NBA season starting yesterday, is
Yeah.
geared up for another long season. So tell me, on game days, do you stay later? On non-game days, what is the off season like as opposed to in season with your role?
Yeah, so technically, I don't have an off season. I came from a team where I was thankful enough to just be working for the NBA team. I work for a platform company, which is BSE Global, so we work Nets, Barclays, and the New York Liberty. So with that being said, in my role, I do cover essentially net season, Liberty season, meaning I did not have a break
Right,
for the year.
right.
I went from, especially when I did come back to Brooklyn, I went from the Hawk season in the middle of right before All-Star break going into the Nets season, then having maybe a month to Liberty season. Now Liberty's over. We've had about like 6 weeks now. We're going back into Nets season. So I haven't had no real off season. I'm already taking my week-long break during All-Star break, so that's already planned out. But on game days, essentially, right now I am in the thick of recruiting for my team. Which is traditionally my even in-office days are getting stretched out past like the typical 9 to 5:30.
Sure.
If we are looking at a regular office day, I come in roughly around 8:30. I do have an hour and a half commute. I live up in Westchester County.
Wow.
Yep, exactly. The sacrifices you make to do what you love.
Yeah.
So
Seriously.
I start in the office. Most of the time, like, I am doing leadership meetings, and that is talking about like what our budget looks like, hitting our revenue goals, how each team affects like the revenue, how we are going to deliver those messages to the team, as well as being able to do training sessions, meaning how am I going to plan out training sessions with my team, with our actual director of training and development, between going to one-on-ones with my my direct boss, on top of like our SVP and our EVP, and like having those one-on-ones sprinkled bi-weekly and monthly, and then me
Right.
also being in the weeds with my team. My main goal for my team is, since they're entry level, is their growth and development. So meaning like I'm doing a lot of like call listening at my desk. I'm doing a lot of pipeline management, meaning how are we taking people from being non-contacted to pushing them through, pitching them product, getting on a meeting with them, and closing
Right.
them down for some type of deal. So I'm doing a lot of that. I'm also helping people figuring out sales is not for them. How are we going to prepare for interviews? What does your resume look like? Things of that nature. Talking through things like that. And then obviously in this role, I'm also like a pseudo therapist. That was one thing that was not put in the job description when I took this role on. And understanding too, like I came from a background of working in customer service. I was a senior consultant on the membership service team in Atlanta for 4 seasons. So
Right.
I am essentially here to make sure like whatever it is you need, I can provide that for you, and just being essentially your internal champion. So again, whether it is like talking strictly work things, or talking about what I got going on personally outside of life, and how can I, one, be able to be the best boss for you, but also understand that like I'm a human and you're a human first too, and just making sure that you are taking care of yourself personally. So that's essentially what the day-to-day could look like. On
Right.
game days, no day is like the same, no game is the same. I don't think I've ever had necessarily the same game since being in the NBA for almost 5 seasons at this point.
Right.
But for my team specifically now, They are supposed to be running meetings during games. So that's bringing clients in before tip off, being able to show off our premium spaces, talk memberships, talk groups, suite rentals, things of that nature. I
Yep.
also run our 2 sales tables that we have across the whole arena. So we have one in our lower level, upper level, having staff there to be able to bring in like people into the table to talk about membership, stuff of that nature.
Right.
Also making sure that, of course, jumping on meetings when I have to, being able to like facilitate, hey, this person needs to go there if this person's not there, and all of those things. Being able to also activate some in-game promotional things that we have, like our golden ticket, bringing people over to our sales table just to talk about like what can working with us in the future do for you.
Right.
And then like any little last minute things, whether it be jumping in with service, jumping in with groups, jumping in with our premium and senior level teams, just like anywhere that people need hands and help. Like that's why game day can kind of be literally a free-for-all for everybody, because
Sure.
at this point it's like you go in with a plan, and the minute one thing happens, it's a domino effect, and it's going to affect everything else that you had planned for the day. So just ready to go on a pivot at any given point.
Sounds like a job that it always keeps you on your toes. No question about that.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, okay, I'm with you on that. I'm totally with you on that. Now, anytime you hear the word sales, you think of commission, you think of revenue, dollars, you think of quotas. Those are some of the words that you kind of throw out there when you talk about the word sales. As a
Yep.
manager, talk about your particular role over like team. Like how many
Yeah.
people do you want on your team? What kind of coaching do you do for your
Yep.
team? What
Yep.
kind of manager would you be? Like
Yeah.
if you're talking about recruitment, give me a
Yeah.
pitch on why people should join your inside sales team.
Yeah, of course. So my team is always going to be roughly around 18 people. I do have a co-manager. I was managing 18 for some months by myself, and as you can imagine, one person with 18 different personalities can weigh on you after a while.
No question.
But it is what it is. I do have help now. I have 18 people on my team. Again, the main thing for me is to make sure I am growing and developing the people that come into an entry level role. Understanding I'm going to give you the fundamentals of how to sell within this industry, whether that be B2C, B2B. Understanding too, we have multiple products. I'm not going to pigeonhole you to one thing. I'm going to allow you to explore and figure out what it is that you like, what it is that you don't like. But also,
Right.
I'm going to be somebody that I am. You're a New Yorker, I'm a New Yorker, like we are very direct. There are sometimes I am not going to kiss ass and I'm not going to cushion a lot of things. I'm going to be understanding and I'm going to hear people out, but I'm going to be someone that's going to challenge you in terms of trying to help you get better and better day over day, letting
Hmm.
you know like, hey, this is where we're good at, this is where I'm going to support you at and always cheer for you, but always knowing like, here's the room for opportunity and this is what we can do to get better in that space for opportunity, but also making sure that my team also has the autonomy to go through and handle their business the way that they need to handle it. Again, I will give you the foundation and then it is what you want to do from there. Because I know one process for one person is not going to work the same for me, is not going to
Right.
work the same for the next person and things of
Right.
that nature. And that's the biggest thing for me. I also want it's an individualistic thing. Everybody thinks like it's so cut and dry with sales and it's not. It's very much so not. The process, we have fundamental, there is a roadmap. The way you go about how you take a sale from A to B is all onto you. And I make sure with people that we're bringing on their team, where they're not all the same. They don't have the same, like necessarily the same background. They don't even have to have experience. I just want people that are going to be dogs and be able to get in the trenches and understand like whatever it is that you put into this, understand that's exactly what you're going to get out of it. And if you're going to give me your best effort every day, day in, day out with a great attitude and being a great teammate, I'm going to make sure you're going to have a next step within this industry.
I love that. Girl, I love that. You are speaking the gospel. There ain't no doubt about that. And I love that. Because that's what a leader should speak like, should be like, and you are a great representation of that. There's
Thank
no
you.
question about that. And I'm sure your co-manager will tell you the same thing. I'm sure your boss will tell you the same thing as well. No question. But it's a good question to have because some people, they don't know these roles. There's so many roles in
Yep.
sports, not just with sports media, but also sports teams and
Yep.
different things of that nature. And sometimes you just feel like you slide into a role that speaks to you, that fits you so well. And this role seems like it does fit you very well. Like you said, you can pretty much you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. You can
Yep.
give them all the tools that you want, but they got to have that dedication. They got to have that self motivation, right? Like for me, I don't know if you believe me before I get to the next question. This is kind of a little bit of a tangent, but for me, I don't think someone can motivate you. I think someone can inspire you,
Yep.
but I don't think someone can motivate you. You got to be self motivated. And
Exactly.
if you're not, nothing will ever happen in your life. Do you agree with that?
I know wholeheartedly. Like it, even like in my personal life, like I am also big because I was a former athlete. Like I'm big into working out, lifting, all of those type of things. And for me, like with how I just told you how long my commute is, how long days can be. On game days, I get in at 9 a.m., 8:30. I'm not leaving that arena till 10 p.m. at night and taking another hour and a half commute back to my back home. So
Right.
understanding like for me to be my best self, like I have to go throw some weight around, and the only time I can make that work is at 4:30 in the morning. And everybody else, when everyone else is getting their little extra hours in and all that type of stuff, like everyone sees me on my little Instagram story and all that type of stuff, and it's because like I have that discipline. Like this is what I need, like to make sure like I show up in this office as my best self, like understanding that like especially as a leader, like I can't ask my team to do certain things that I'm not going to be willing to do for myself. So if I'm
Hello.
not going to have that discipline and that motivation to do certain things, like how can I preach that to my team if I'm not going to be leading by example? So
Absolutely.
understanding that like you have to have like I start all my one-on-ones when I meet new people to my team, like what is your why? Like why are you doing this? Because I know at the end of the day it's not going to be me. So
Right.
like what is the reason behind you wanting to be in this chair? And then once, I think the biggest thing is like I always tell them, like put that on your desk, because with sales everyone knows it's up and down. You are going
Yep.
to have moments when you are in the shit. Are you going to be someone that's going to stay there because like it's going to come, it's inevitable that it's going to come, but what is going to get you out of it and continue to come in day day out and understand like what your end goal is and get yourself there.
I love it. I love it. And that's a great segue too, Aisha, because now when I ask you about mental health and work-life balance, in this industry of sports, especially sports media, I've seen it. I've been in this industry for about 8 years, and I've seen a lot of journalists walk away because their mental health is affected. I've seen a lot of people walk away because of work-life balance. They just can't get right. Can't get balanced, I should say.
Yep.
But the fact is that, in my opinion, I don't ever think you do have the right kind of balance. I don't think you ever will have it 100% because everybody's
Yeah.
situation is different. All
Yep.
cards are dealt differently, and everybody's balance is weighed differently. That's just the way it is. With you, you kind of talked about it. You know, you need your piece to be able to work out in the morning. Sometimes you leave late on game days. You have an hour and a half commute. If you're getting up at 4:30, I know I'm doing my math right. That means you're getting home by 11:30 midnight. That means you ain't sleeping much when you're getting up in the morning trying to go to work out. So I want to know, how do you keep your mental health strong, but also still try to have that work-life balance? Because you seem like a wonderful woman to be around. There's no question about that. I'm sure your friends and family will say the same thing, but you also seem very dedicated about what you do. So how do you keep that balance and that mental health strong without experiencing burnout?
First of all, that was such a compliment. I really just came into the like off a conversation being like, "Damn, you're the most grouchy person that's on this staff." So that actually helps with what you saying. Seem like a pleasant person to be around. But like the I think what helped me, just being candid, was my jump to Atlanta. That really, the leadership staff, the people that I worked with, just being there, it put a lot of stuff into perspective for me, especially being in this industry. Just candidly, my first stint in this, in on the business side of things, like when I started, I was on operations, but getting onto the business side, it was not the best thing, and it really
Right.
had me question on if this was going to even be something I could be successful at, and if
Right.
I wanted to do long term. So I took a lateral move essentially when I went to Atlanta, understanding that like I'm not going to get promoted in the interim, but understanding that like there is a bigger picture. And if you stick out, obviously doing the lateral move at first, it'll be well worth it. And again, like during my time in Atlanta, again, I was just super supportive in terms of like what my end goal was, and being pushed and challenged to like, hey, there's gonna be things that you're not gonna want to do, but understanding it's for the greater good. But there's also times like my recent boss from Atlanta, they were very big on like the world is not going to fucking stop if you need to take a day to yourself.
Right.
This business is going to continue to run. And
Right.
also knowing that if you are not well in whatever aspect of your life, we can't expect you to be able to come in and do anything for our team. And that is
Absolutely.
going to, at the end of the day, it's going to be a detriment because like they knew the type of person that I was. What makes me happy and the energy that I bring. It's funny right now because they have their opening night tonight and I'm getting texts. It's like, bro, it's like not the same without you being here on opening night with everybody. So like to have the autonomy for my boss to even tell me like, you're struggling. I see this on your face. You can take a day to do whatever it is you need to do, handle whatever it is, that you need to handle. And when you can step back into it, then step back into it. But know that you're still going to be supported no matter what it is that you have going on. And I think not enough spaces allow that.
Right.
I think in
Absolutely.
this industry, especially, it's just like taking a break or taking a pause. It's like you're not working hard enough. Like, do you even want to be here? Things of that nature. And it's just like, I need to do this before I spiral. Like, and being someone that had to do a lot of like self-reflection in terms of mental health and being able to take care of certain things last year, being diagnosed with bipolar 2 and things of that nature, and understanding like, hey, this is not like, you're not crazy, like this is why you are struggling and dealing with things the way that you're dealing with them. And the fact that like I was able to have the support from my team and my work area to understand like, hey, handle this. When you're back, like we know you're gonna lock in and do what you need to do, and that's one thing that I've also like tried to translate and bring over here, like, and letting like these reps know it's like, hey, this is not gonna lie, this job's gonna suck. Like it is gonna suck, especially the first year that you're in it. But also understanding like, again, like if you have things going on outside of work that's also going to affect your work, we gotta sit down and handle this first.
Right. Absolutely.
And understanding that like it's not saying that you're soft, it's not saying that like you don't care about this. It's like, no, I care about me and what I need to do for myself so I can perform at the highest caliber that you need me to at the end of it.
Absolutely. And I love that answer. You gave great answers all conversation long so far, no question. But listen, when people are upfront and transparent, that makes for the best relationships. That makes for the best conversations, in my opinion. Because number one, there's no mystery. Number one, there's no undecidedness. There's no, like wavering and things. Like you lay if you lay shit out on the table and let somebody decide on what they want to do, how they want to be about it. Hey, now you can roll with something. You can go into a direction, whether or not this is for you. And listen,
Exactly.
some people may not want to go this route, and that's totally fine. Totally
Exactly.
fine. But again, the reason why I ask these questions is because sometimes people get into these professions for the wrong reasons. And
Exactly.
you
Yep.
right,
Yep.
so you get in this profession, especially media. You see people on TV, the handsome guy or the beautiful girl, like they must have it made. Or if you tell somebody, "Hey, I work in sports. I work for the
Yep.
Brooklyn Nets." Oh my gosh, like, ooh, you must be getting the hookup. And it's like, yo,
Yep.
that you got to pump your brakes on that because that's not what this is about.
Exactly.
It's much more than where I'm just working with a sports team and what the benefits that I may
Yep.
reap from that. So I love transparency. I love your transparency. I appreciate that because anybody who's candid and open, you already got a key to my heart. That's for sure. There's no question about that because I don't like playing any type of games
Yep.
or any type of stuff like that, especially when it comes to relationships and when it comes to jobs as
Yep.
well. When you know what it is, you just go out and do it to the best of your ability. If you
Yep.
can't do that, then maybe that's not the job for you. That's just my
Exactly.
opinion. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Now, another great segue though is because now I want to ask you about advice. What is some advice that you would give someone that wants to be in inside sales, that wants to work for a sports team? Doesn't have to be basketball, football,
Yeah.
could be any kind of sports organization. What kind of
Yeah.
advice would you give that individual?
Biggest thing I would say is what lines in terms of like what are your values and what do you want out of your day to day? Like what do you want it to look like? Because that will easily tell you if a certain job is going to be for you or not. And then as well as in terms of like starting to network and connect with people in this industry, you need to be intentional it is very easy for people just to start blasting. You probably have gone through it. I'm going through it now since I'm recruiting. People just want to blast you with messages. Oh, I want to get 5 minutes to talk about like your journey and all that type of stuff. I'm like, if we're being quite honest, you don't give a shit because my journey is on this LinkedIn page. But
right.
And then also it's just like more so of I'm asking for begging for a job instead of like, hey, like I'm interested in learning more about X, Y, and Z. Like you're someone that I've seen that has like has a similar background to me, or you have the same interests, things like that nature. Kind of want to just be able to connect with you. Like again, the biggest thing is like you got to be intentional with the networking. That was one thing for me. So traditionally, before I started with the Jets, I was actually working retail full time. I was an assistant store manager with Dick's Sporting Goods before I started getting into sports.
Okay.
And while I was working, I lost my job, and then COVID hit. So it was just like a perfect storm for me to be like, yeah, let me get me out of this shit because this is not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Hello.
But at that point, because also I was a little bit older and further removed from certain things, I was like, this is going to be hard for me to do. And understanding, I was very tactical with the people that I was talking to and reaching out to. I was going to the bucket of I don't really only want to talk to females, black females specifically, that are working in specific sports in specific sectors, because this is what I want to end up doing, and not necessarily trying to I'm just going to throw darts every single where and hope someone's going to vouch for me. Like I was making more so genuine connections, and that is essentially what ended up even getting me to the position that I'm in today.
Right. I like that. I do. And that's some really, really good advice. Now, Aisha, we've came to the portion of the podcast right now that we're going to play my interactive game called This or That. It's a game that I like to play with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It's very simple. I'm going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. First question. Which restaurant would you rather eat at? Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse?
Texas Roadhouse.
You like the cinnamon buns, don't you?
Yes.
I know that's right.
Shouldn't be said like that.
Damn it, you are on point like a period. You starting off like a period, girl. I like this. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can keep this thing going. When it comes to chicken wings, which flavor would you rather put on the wing? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Okay, sorry. Is it like dry? Is it like a dry rub with the lemon pepper?
Well, listen, it could be wet or dry, whichever you prefer.
All right, if it's gonna be wet, then I will go lemon pepper. If it's dry rub, then I have to go barbecue. I don't like dry wings.
Okay, so let's go with the wet then. Wet lemon pepper. All right. Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
You said wings, so bone in. Boneless is a nugget.
Hey, listen, I'm with you. I'm with you 5,000, 10 toes down. I'm with you on that. But there's some people who says they don't want nothing but the meat.
It's a nugget or a tender. I'm not about to argue with those people.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that, girl, because I second that emotion like Smokey Robinson. I feel you on that, okay? So we'll keep that thing going. Here we go. When it comes to music concerts, these next 4 questions, you just choose which one you'd rather go to, okay? So here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see in person? Rihanna or Beyonce?
Rihanna. I've already seen Beyonce.
Okay. I know you put your head back for a minute. You was like, damn, why you have to ask me that first? I was like, okay. Yeah. I'm so sorry. But, listen, they're going to get a little bit harder. They're going to get a little bit harder. So here we go. Here's the second one. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Usher or Chris Brown?
I will honestly say Chris Brown. And I've seen both, but I would say Chris Brown.
Okay. Listen, Breezy he on fire right now. That 11/11 tour was amazing. No question. I'm with you on that. Okay, here we go. Here's the next one. Which music concert would you rather go see? Brandy or Monica?
I see my girl Monica. We feisty. We're both feisty, so I gotta go see my Monica.
That is a hot take for your ass. There's no question about that. Okay. I love me both now. But that's definitely a hot take. Okay, here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see with the group in their prime? Boys the Men or New Edition?
New edition.
Girl, we can stay friends. I know that. I
I'm
know that.
very like actual like I'm talking about 80s, 70s R&B. Like I am that type of old R&B. Like
Really?
so all yeah, like I am very like my Mount Rushmore really right now is like Phyllis Hyman, Whitney Houston,
Mm.
Mariah,
Mm.
and like I'm split between my fourth because like I don't know where you can low key kind of classify Adele at this point because that is my
Right.
girl. That is a white
Right.
girl that can sing. But I
No
also
question.
do love me some Amy Winehouse as well, even though I feel like her talent, like her potential, got cut so short. So
It did. It did. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Listen, I'm an old soul as well. Aisha, there's no question about that. So my range as far as my Pandora goes all the way to OJ's, goes to the Spinners,
yep,
goes to Al Green, but then it comes to
I
Prince,
love it.
MJ, then it goes to Babyface. You know about a little something about Babyface. So
Yeah, you
look,
need to have the variety. You gotta have the variety.
you do, you do. So it ranges, but also you got listen to respect the old. You know, you also got to appreciate the new. So Breezy,
Yep.
Usher, definitely Joe, you know, some stuff like that as well. So I definitely rock out. I'm a huge R&B person, so that's my genre right there for sure. Um, let's go to the sports. Which sports would you rather watch on TV, baseball or hockey?
Baseball. And
Okay.
I've actually recently started getting into it, and it's because of the pitch clock. So shout out to them for fixing that because I hated baseball beforehand.
Hello, I'm with you on that. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Bowling.
Okay, are you a good bowler?
I'm nice. Yes, I'm nice at it.
We might have to see that because I'm nice too. I'm just letting you know I'm nice too. I spin that thing. I'm just letting you
As
know.
long as I don't have my nails on, like, yeah, no competition.
Got you. Say less. Okay, I'm with you on that. Do you like desserts?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
If I'm going out to eat, we getting dessert. I don't care how full I am.
got you. So four categories I'm about to mention. You got to pick one of these categories that you'll never eat again. So here we go. Okay. First category is ice cream. The next category is cookies. The next category is candy. The last category is grouped together, cake/pies.
Okay.
Which category are you getting rid of?
To be honest, I can get rid of the cookies.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Hey, listen, we keep it a buck here. Okay, that's all good though. That's all good. Now, what's your favorite ice cream?
So I really do. If soft serve, I'm very basic. I really like myself a soft serve vanilla. It has to be rainbow sprinkles, or I am a very like anything with like Oreo pieces in it, things of that nature. Like those are my two go-tos. And then Talenti has like a tiramisu that they got going on now that they
Wow.
sell, and a caramel crunch. Those
Okay.
are just a little dib and dab in all of those. That's why I
Okay.
gotta keep the ice cream.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I'm a cookies and cream kind of person. So give me that
Yep.
Breyers Blue Bin. I'm huge into cookies and cream. That's my number
Yep.
one. Okay, do you like potato chips?
I'm particular on like what flavor is what I
Oh,
should say.
then that's amazing to hear because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna name four brands. You got to choose one of these brands to get rid of. So here we go. The first brand is Lay's. The next brand is Ruffles. The third brand is Doritos. The last brand is Pringles. Which one are you getting rid of?
I'll be okay with getting rid of Lay's.
Okay, okay, I ain't mad at that. Now, you don't have to name those other three chips. But if I say, Aisha, we walk into a store together, what chip are you buying to eat? You would say,
Anything with jalapeno flavoring in it. So that's why I had to keep the Ruffles because they have a jalapeno ranch that is fire.
okay. So you like a little spice you like a little spice in your food.
Mhm.
That's that Trinidad Tobago coming out. That's what that is.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I mean, I ain't mad at that. Spice ain't nice with this body. I'm just gonna let you know. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Spice ain't nice with this body, but that's okay. That means it's more for you to eat and less for me to eat. So that's just what that
Basically.
is. Okay, I'm with you on that. Now, I want to ask you this because I asked you about advice early on that you would give. But I want to know what it is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to.
It's funny. And it's also what I took to come into this role. Just continue to authentically be myself. I think it's very, very hard, especially for Black women in any space, especially when you get into leadership,
Mhm.
to start to minimize yourself, to start to not speak up, to take those negative connotations that we're given and really start to sit and think about that and shift who you are and what you bring to the table. But understanding the reason why I'm in some of the roles that I have been in, that was why I was put in those roles, because no one else could do what I was doing and no one else was the person that I was. Like, I know, like, when I left Atlanta, they were just like, we literally don't know what we are going to do to find someone
Like you.
to come close to being like you.
Right.
So like that was the biggest piece of advice I still take with me to this day.
It's funny you say that because I have a bonus question in mind, and that is for me in sports reporting, obviously being African American, you go to these events, you cover some of these section championships, these state championships. You know, I've covered high school, college, and professional. One thing you don't see is a lot of African Americans, whether they're male, whether they're female. You rarely ever see minorities, let alone African Americans. And then you really don't see a lot of women of any color. Talk to me about the importance of your role being a woman of minority descent, but also talk to me. Do you feel that there may be some inequalities in your kind of field of women working in sports teams and being in certain positions?
I think unfortunately, like there is.
Mm.
I think obviously the gap is closing.
Okay.
I think sometimes when you do get into certain spaces or you get into certain meetings and things like that, it starts to poke out in terms of like, all right, I see why certain situations are the way that they are.
Sure.
So I think we really still do have an uphill battle at this point. This is exactly why I felt like it was very necessary for me to take this step. It was so easy for me to be comfortable in the position that I was in, where I was at. And for me, looking at what my long-term goals are and also looking to be the person that like I did not have when I first started out in this industry, and understanding like this could really shift someone's outlook on not only the industry but just like where their career path can take them. Like that is one thing that I've held like very, very near and dear to my heart, and I feel like it really is my responsibility in terms to like continue to show up in these spaces and like allow myself to like take up the necessary room that I should be taking up.
All right. I'm gonna get you out of here on this question, and that is, I want to know your top four as far as bucket list goals that you have for your career that you haven't had yet.
Of course. I would say the first one is to be able to lead, like be promoted to the manager of a membership service team. That is where my heart is. I'm a service-oriented person. That is like my bread and butter. So that is what my next step is. I also would like to end up being the director or VP of player engagement. Understanding too, like I feel like a lot of these people don't see what's behind the scenes in terms of like what happens to players after, and knowing like you have to prepare them while they're in certain things, because this is not going to last forever. And I do sometimes feel like a lot of these kids, when we see come into the league, they are misguided at first, and I know a lot of it does hit home when they can see someone that has a similar background as them, and knowing that they probably do have a better interest at heart for them compared to some of their counterparts. Another thing too, I would definitely, for me, would love to be able to be a part of, how would I word this?
Hmm.
Like, I really want to be able to start like a ERG, like with any team that I end up being at, knowing that they have like your typical ones being like a Pride one, like Hispanic one, like like a band, which is ours, is like the Black Alliance. But like I
Right.
want to get a little bit more granular, whether it be like people that are, it's just specifically black women, whether it is like first generation immigrants, things of that nature. I think in those spaces, it's a lot of us are still trying to navigate it on our own, and it can be tough, and especially when you don't have other people that understand where you're coming from. So like that's one thing. And then a fourth one, honestly, it really is just to have a positive, like as corny as it sounds, it really is just to have a positive impact just in this industry. Being able for people when they either get promoted or like leave the organization or they're not working with me anymore, to always be like, yo, Aeisha put me in the best position possible that I allowed myself to be in, and understand like she supported me 110% through it. Like that's all I could ever ask for. That's why I got into leadership. It's more so like growth and development, and hoping that we can help the next generation that's coming up, and understanding like I want to leave things better than how I found it.
I love that. I do. And I really, really have loved this conversation with you, Aisha. I think you're an absolutely incredible inside sales manager. They got a great hire there in Brooklyn, New York. I'm obviously a new fan of yours and respect the
Oh,
work that
thank
you have
you, thank
done
you,
and respect the work that you're going to do in the future. You gave some really great answers and really great insight about your why and your story, but also your background and also what you do. I just want to say I hope you have a great opening night there, and
thank
or
you,
I should say a great just season overall,
thank
but
you,
just great season with the Nets and then with the Liberty upcoming as well.
thank you,
You and I would definitely be in touch.
for
I
sure.
want to ask you my final question, and that is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we conclude?
Just understanding that like anything, any goals that you, as corny as it sounds, any goals that you have, like you can do it. Like knowing that you have support, and it can be from people that don't even know you. Like that is one thing that I have found out in this role, is I have so many people supporting me that don't really know me, and knowing that at the end of the day, like whatever it is that you have set for yourself, you can achieve it, but are you going to be the one that stands in your way from actually doing it?
I love that. Well, listen, again, I want you to enjoy your Wednesday evening. You and I will
Thank
most
you.
certainly be in touch. And thank you for coming on to the podcast.
Of course, thank you for having me.
No doubt.